Today I want to talk about the campsnap. I have the V103, so it's their newest version of the campsnap disposable digital camera. It's not disposable, but it's styled like a disposable camera, and it's digital, has no screen on it, so you have to take your photos and not know what happens with them until you see them later. So kind of cool, kind of scary. Depends on what you like to do when shooting. You pull out your phone and you shoot a picture with it and you immediately know what that picture looked like, and that satisfactory of that is there. But there's something to be said about not knowing and getting to just take a bunch of pictures and look at it later on. And I think there's a lot of use cases for this little camera. I'm just using it to have fun and bring back some nostalgia. But let's talk about the camera itself. We'll talk about the aesthetics, what I'd like to see changed on it possibly, kind of what you do to set it up. I'll talk about all of its features, even some of what I see on the settings and the metadata that we're getting from the photos from this. Along the way, I'm gonna show you all the pictures that I've taken over the last week. Let's talk about it. So this is the camera itself. So I've got the navy blue, and I wanna show you the box that it comes in real quick. So this box is exactly what I would expect from this camera. Such a cool box. They did a great job just kind of giving the aesthetic and nostalgia that you would think this camera would come in. 100% what I would have expected for this box, and I would have been disappointed if it was something else. Great job, guys, on the box. Camera itself, very lightweight. It feels as lightweight, if not maybe more lightweight than an actual disposable camera. Obviously, doesn't need that big of a battery because there's so little actual electronics on it that do anything. To turn it on, you just push and hold on the actual shutter and it turns on. The first number is going to show you your battery percentage. Seems like it goes down in tens, so it starts at 100, you'll see 90 the next time, go down like that. And then your next number that kind of stays on the screen, which I don't know if it's going to pick it up or not, is how many photos you currently have on it. When you first get it, you turn it on, you take a picture, it's gonna make a sound. It makes a sound that's a shutter sound. Doesn't sound like a shutter at all. It's not a shutter sound. It's so digital, so you can turn that off. On the bottom here, there is a screw and a little thing you can remove here. I'm hoping I can brighten this up in post because it doesn't look like you can actually see it. There's a screw and a thing you can remove. This is where the SD card is stored, as well as there's 3 buttons that let you set your settings. So you can set the sound to being off, loud. There's a few different levels of sound, and you can set your time and date on it so that the metadata is correct. You're not going to view the time and date. It's not going to show up on the images, so don't worry about that being baked in like old photos, but it does help the metadata be correct. So do set that in the beginning. In order to do that, you do need a tiny screwdriver. So unless you have a tiny screwdriver on you when you open this, you can't do that. Charges with USB-C, so like any charger will charge this thing. On the back is your flash auto. You have a flash auto off or on. You have your screen that shows you all the stuff I was talking about, and the little speaker for the sound that we were talking about. I turned my sound all the way off because, listen, you can just hear it kind of click, and that's fine with me. I'm not gonna turn the sound on for you guys to hear it. Just note that it's digital and it doesn't really sound like a shutter. I did add this strap. It does not come with a strap, but it does have the spots for it, so any little wrist strap will do. You could probably even do a neck strap, but I don't think it's necessary with the weight of this, so I just popped it on a wrist strap, and it slides into any pocket. So aesthetically wise, I love it. I love the little texture blue here, and there's so many different colors they have to choose from. And guys, I'll link this down below. I'll link their products down below so you guys can go ahead and purchase yours if you want at the end of this video. The viewer, it's not very clear. It's definitely got some warping in the look of it, but it does the trick. You can line up your frame, line up your shot very easily. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take a picture here. All right, so aesthetically wise, the only thing I would say is if the lens could scoot slightly over so there's a little more hand space for your fingers, because it's weird that there's a lot of space over here, but everybody shoots right-handed. So I would say the space should be more over here, maybe more centered. I like the aesthetic look of it being kind of offset, but if it was over more, you could do a little bump out. They could do a little bump out right here to just give you a little grippy. Again, very lightweight, so you don't really need the grippy, but just a thought. We're gonna get inside of it in a second. The other thing I would love to see on it is the information around the lens, because there is a spot there. You could tell you could print like f2.8, 35 millimeter, like that stuff would be cool to have on the lens. It just give it an extra little look to it, as well as give the user some information. That's just information for campsnap if you're watching this video, guys, of something cool that you could add to a future iteration, or even you probably could just start popping that on these ones, depending on if you want to spend the money on it or whatever. Because right now they're at a great price point. But some of the things I'm going to mention, I would be happy to pay a little bit more of a price point for to have them included. All right, so getting inside of it and showing you more of these pictures along the way, exposure's a little odd, as well as white balance. So it's doing everything automatic and none of it's like really fixed. The only thing fixed on it is the f-stop and the focus. So your focus is like 3 feet plus, and really for people it's like between 3 and 15 feet. I'm noticing you're getting the most clear pictures of people. But landscape, obviously you could take like big wide pictures of landscape and it's going to turn out cool. If you want to get stuff out of focus, your trick would be to get stuff that's in the foreground close to it will be out of focus, and then everything else will be in focus. And that'll give you some like depth to your image. Obviously, if you're buying this and you're a photographer, you're going to play with that stuff, so you don't need to know this. But if you're buying this and you're a beginner and just wanting to play with it, definitely something to think about. So using foreground elements to get an out of focus to create depth to your shot. Also, if you're shooting indoors, like lighting and stuff like that, you can change. But the key to this thing is just taking it with you and having so much fun with it. And I think a cool use for it would be like people that are having a wedding and you buy one of these for each of the wedding party, and just be like, take all the pictures that you want during it and we'll upload them and I'll share the files with everybody afterwards. And it would be so fun because then they could pass these around during the wedding, and then it could be also a nice gift for them to keep after the fact because you could just keep using it. Just my thoughts on something. If I had this when I got married, I definitely would have done something like that for my wedding party. I thought it would be so cool. Get variation of colors. You know, the bridesmaids and stuff get their own colors, and the groomsmen get their colors, and they all do what they want with it, and you'll have some extra photos from your wedding. They would be really fun to see. That can be said for a lot of different events, like, you know, proms and stuff like that. Like, this is a cool little gift, like, for sure. And in a price point that makes sense for a gift like that. Beyond that, okay, so getting into it, the metadata. I'm gonna pull my phone up actually so I can talk to you, and I'll be showing you images while I'm telling you this stuff. I'm gonna power it down. So powering it off, you actually just push and hold again, and then it powers off. All right, so before I get into that, I'm gonna talk about transferring to my phone. So it comes with a USB-C to USB-C. When I went to my kids' college, I went to go tour some colleges with my kids and brought it with me. And I knew I was gonna be sitting through some lecture-y stuff, so I knew I'd have time to upload. So all I did was I had the USB-C to USB-C with me, and you just plug it in. This is an Android phone, and I don't know how it works with iPhones, but for Android, you just plug in the USB-C to USB-C. It doesn't matter if your camera's on or off, it works. You get that USB storage symbol right here, and then go ahead and click on that, and it will pull up basically like what you would see if you plug it in on a computer, all of the file spots. And you can click the DCIM, then 100 media, which is how it shows up on my phone, and I think that's pretty much how it shows up on everybody's. And then you can just cycle through them. You can share directly from the image, so I could click an image, and then I could use my share icon to share it, or you can select it and have it check marked, and then select to copy to or move. What I did was I copied it to a different file and created a file. So I currently have a file in my phone called campsnap that I created. It is windy out today. Anyways, easy to get to your phone. You can do it real quick. So it's not like you have no screen and you're not gonna see it for a week while you wait. You literally could just plug it in. You can bring a USB-C to USB-C anywhere. You're not without being able to see your results. That being said, let's talk about the actual results of when you're taking shots and your exposure, your white balance, all that stuff. So what I have noticed is that when I use my flash indoors, the white balance is way off almost every time. And I don't know if it's because it's figuring out white balance no matter where you point it, or it's figuring out white balance after you click it and it's just real fast and it has to make those decisions. I don't know. And I've looked up online to try to figure out where that information might be, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So as of right now, I think it's literally where you point it, it white balances. My suggestion is to do more than one photo of the same shot. And I noticed that it subtly changes. So I don't know if it's picking up the information in the screen, in the frame, and changing it accordingly. I'm not sure. Like I said, I do not know how it's making these decisions, but it's definitely making some internal decisions. What I kind of wish would happen is you could actually like do a half press so that it figures out information, then click it. Again, this is very fun, and it's fun that you don't know what you're getting. Like, so I'm showing you photos that are unedited so far, and in the end, I'm gonna start putting some up that are edited. So everything you've seen thus far is unedited. Those are straight out of the camera. As you noticed, the white balances are all over the place. It's almost always different, but some of the results are great, some are iffy. You'll have some deletes. It definitely adjusts shutter speed as well. And the shutter speed I've seen as low as 1/13 and as high as like 1 almost 4,000. So fast shutter speed, slow shutter speed, depending on dark or light environment. ISO also changes. The highest ISO I think I've gotten, I'm gonna pull it up right now, 2900. 2900 I think is the highest one. Let's see. So ISO is 2900, and when it's doing that 2900, my shutter speed is 1/13. So 1/13, and that's where your stuff's changing. The ISO, the shutter speed, that's the metadata you're getting. It doesn't actually give you the metadata on the white balance. So it definitely changes, and the thing I think they could do to solve that is have like the basic tungsten or daylight white balance and do it like a switch like they have on it for the flash, and do a tungsten switch or a daylight switch, and then you could kind of change it yourself and do it however you want. But that would only give you 2 white balances, and it definitely seems like it is fluctuating between a various white balance, and I kind of wish it would show me the data on that. Again, as you see from these pictures, they're fun, they give you that vintage look. It's just a really cool product. I love this thing. I think it's so much fun. The idea of it's great. It's definitely like something you could take on the go travel with, and then upload your results at the end of your trip, at the end of your hike, whatever. Just get rid of the screen, get away from the screen, get away from the phone, and just have fun, shoot it, and then look forward to your results later. There's something to be said about that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And again, like, you can buy this down below. I've done several videos on the Pocket Dispo, which kind of does the same idea. It's a disposable lens for your mirrorless camera. So if you already have a mirrorless camera, Pocket Dispo, check out that video there. Might be the option for that. Otherwise, this is kind of something really fun as a gift for yourself, whatever. You can get different color shades and have a lot of fun with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, my little review on the campsnap V103. Such a fun little camera to use. I'm gonna go shoot some more fun stuff. Go check out some of my other stuff that YouTube recommends to you right there, guys. I hope you use whatever camera you have on hand, possibly pick one of these up and just go shoot something awesome. Don't forget to post whatever you take, whatever you record, whatever you shoot, and have a great time. Good rest of the fall. Peace out, guys. See you next time.